Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona 275, brought to you by P.A.D.D, Parents Against Distracted Driving. Tonight we're at Daytona Speedway, have 109 laps of racing. Daytona track is configured 31 in the turns, 3 degrees on the backstretch, and the tri-oval is 18 degrees. So welcome to the Daytona 215, brought to you by P.A.D. and sponsored tonight by Wiley X Sunglasses.
Well, I tell you what, Wayne, Wiley X Sunglasses, I tell you folks need to get on over there to wileyx.com. Take a look at those sunglasses. I mean, good gracious. These things are awesome, Wayne, for tactical, motorcycle, racing, fishing, safety, you name it, they carry it.
That's right, Rick. And tonight I'm joined in the booth by last week's new announcer, Rick Lawdog Donathan. And tonight we have a special guest. Brian Likens is our pit road reporter. And the cars are starting to roll off the grid. And let's go over that starting lineup. Starting on the pole tonight is Craig White. Second place is Marty Sponsler. Row 2 is Mark Russell. On the outside of row 2, Tom McAllister. Starting 5th tonight is Stephanie Lessenstein. Starting 6th, Jeremy Crandall. Starting 7th, Chris Perry. And 8th is Blake Cannon.
And starting 9th, number 77, Christopher Smith. Starting 10th, the number 29, Victor Valrath. And starting 11th, number 62, Brian Holman. Starting 12th, Mitchell Harris, driving the 55.
Starting 13th, Cecil Reen. 14th, Jason Hogan. 15th, Kevin Van. 16th, Paul Thomas. 17th, Dominic Kursky. 18th, James Turnbull. 19th, Harold Lowry. And 20th, Edward Velarde.
Starting 21st, number 13, Frank Mugala. What a mouthful there. I'm sure I'm going to hear that. Starting 22nd, number 5, Jason Orlando. 23rd, the 38 of Robert Filtzer. 24th, number 05 of Loey Jones. And we'll go over some more of that later in the race. I believe, Wayne, they're getting ready to, pace cars getting ready to get off the track there.
Yes, they are. They're lined up 2 by 2. Pace lap speed here 70 miles an hour. The pace car is off the track, and the green flag flies as they take off into the trial wall. Cars are heading off into turn 1. They're still side by side as they go down the front stretch. And the number 7 car showing as our leader, Stephanie Lessenstein. Yeah. No, it's
Alrighty, you got a little sidetrack there, Wayne. Had a few technical problems. The 23 of Marty Sponsler, I believe right now, for some reason I'm showing it to be showing him to be in 5th spot right now. Alrighty, as they cross the start and finish line, now we're back on track, Wayne. Marty Sponsler in the lead there with the 02 of Mark Russell in behind him.
Yeah, we had a little. All right, the first lap had Marty Sponsler in 1st, Tom McAllister 2nd, Mark Russell 3rd, Jeremy Crandall 4th, and Blake Cannon running in 5th position. Looks like the first 2 cars have pulled away just a little bit, but behind them there are 2 cars wide.
Tell you what, I'm back here in the back. It's about 6th place, the number 73 of Jeremy Crandall. got some real good action there. The number 44, Cecil Rain, knocking on his back door, but it looks like the 22 is down there on the bottom of the apron.
Back up front, Marty Sponsler and Mark Russell are nose to tail, and there's third and fourth place, Chris Perry and Tom McAllister are nose to tail. And there's a pass for the lead as the 02 goes under Marty Sponsler as they enter the turn.
Tell you what, Wayne, just taking a look back here at Mike Kalini, he's already shown to be one lap down, so maybe in a few, Brian can find out what's going on with that number 22 machine. But I tell you what, look at
I got Reckon in the pack. Reckon. Looks like we've got a spin back in the pack, right in the tri-oval. Yeah, this caution is brought to you by Wiley X. Go to wileyx.com to find your sports eyewear for driving, sports shooting, or any eyeglass needs.
Well, I tell you what there, Wayne, I was just taking a look there at a quick replay, and it looked like the 77 of Christopher Smith may have got up into the number 27 of Tom McAllister and caused that big crash there.
And the 55 was involved in it too. He's spun down on the infield, and he's back underway, and I'm sure they'll be heading to pit road for some repairs. Got the replay up. Let's see if we can see what happened. Yep, the 77 got together with the 27, and then it was at Daytona where they're running so fast and so close together. It didn't take one car to get out of shape, and then it's big mess for everybody.
Oh, I tell you what, the Daytona 275, 109 laps we've got to do here. And we've only got 5 laps in the book and got a big accident like that. I tell you, a little early in the race for things like that to start happening, Wayne. But, you know, I tell you, it looks like we've got quite a few guys that's entered into the P.A.D.D racing. And just remember, guys, what these guys are driving for. People against distracted driving. Stay alive and don't text and drive, Wayne.
Yeah, it looks like the 77 just got loose and got up into the 27, and those guys behind them didn't have anywhere to go. So quite a few cars involved in that accident.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm taking a look at the 77 truck out there right now, Christopher Smith, and looks like he's got quite a bit of damage on the back of that truck there, so hopefully they can get him fixed. The number 77 of Christopher Smith just entered into the pit road there behind the 73 of Jeremy Crandall.
And our leaders are pitting now, a lot of them. 63's on pit road, 17's on pit road as well.
All right, I tell you what, let's take a look down here at the pit road. Brian, have you got anything on that 77 of Christopher Smith down there?
Well, the 77 of Christopher Smith just pitted. Looks like he's taken 4 Goodyear tires, and he's taken some fuel, and it looks like he's got some serious rear end damage that he needs to work out. The other drivers, it looks as if they're also taking 4 tires and full tanks of fuel, and most of them are off pit road as we speak.
Fantastic. Now, tell you, is the damage, are they going to be able to fix that damage down there, Brian?
The damage to the rear end of the 77 machine does look pretty severe, but I think they'll be able to get him back out on the track. I just hope they're able to get him out in front of the pace car.
Yeah, the crew chiefs and the pit crewmen here earn their money at Daytona. These cars are very aero sensitive, and if you mess up that aero package on that front of the car on either side, then you can really lose your top end speed and pretty much spend the rest of the afternoon riding around here. Isn't that right, Rick?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, going back to the very beginning of this thing, like I say, 109 laps these guys are going to be doing here at Daytona. Only 6 laps now in the books here for the Daytona 275. These guys that's already had a wreck this early in the race, that's it's going to be a long day for those guys. But just want to take a quick look back up here to the front. Jason Orlando looks like he's going to be on that outside unless he goes into the pit. He had a pretty good race last week, Wayne, and just got into a little bit of trouble there, but was doing real well at the Atlanta race.
The 18 of Blake Cannon is on pit road. He got some damage from that wreck, and they're in there doing some repair now.
Brian, it sounds like you got more folks down there on pit road. What have you got?
Oh, we've got some serious action here on pit road. It looks more like people are coming in to top off rather than fix damage, and I don't see any tire changing going on, so it looks like they're just topping off their tanks, getting ready for another long run into green.
We're still under caution here, and like I say, Jason Orlando's in first place behind the Ford Mustang pace car. And here at Daytona, the tire wear isn't too bad, but what you sure want to do is be sure you get plenty of Sunoco racing fuel in that car, because you never know how long a green flag run we're going to have here.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, just want to take a quick look and remind these folks, Wiley X Eyewear. If you haven't got a pair yet, you've got to get over to their website, take a look at it, wileyx.com. And you know, Wayne, these guys have got tactical sunglasses for the tactical wear, for Army, I guess military type sunglasses, for law enforcement as well. They carry some for motorcycles, for the racing industry, fishing, safety glasses. You know, these guys have really got it going on, and looking at what they've got, even if those guys out there needs prescription glasses that needs to be filled to a sunglass, they have the capabilities of doing that as well.
That's right, and if you saw the winner in Victory Lane at Talladega this past Sunday, Matt Kenseth wears Wiley X sunglasses. So check out the Matt Kenseth information there on the wileyx.com website.
I tell you what, it looks like there's quite a few drivers, not only Matt Kenseth, but Edwards, Logano, Maryland, Biffle, Harvick, Reagan, Kenseth, Hornaday. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So, you know how those guys over in racing are. They are top quality about everything that they carry out on the track, including their eyewear.
And right now we're looking at the number 8 truck, who's got the Wiley X logo on his truck tonight. And several of our trucks are wearing that Wiley X banner tonight in this P.A.D.D. 275 from Daytona. And Rick, it looks like the lights are out on the pace car, and we're going green this lap.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, old Jason Orlando up there, I'm sure he's gripping that steering wheel pretty hard. He's definitely wanting to get in there and get some laps led and try to get on up there in the points lead.
Starting on the outside of the first row tonight is Robert Felsen, a new driver to the P.A.D.D. series in the 38 Chevy Silverado truck. And coming down the backstretch, going into 3.
Yeah, Wayne, I was going to tell you, Marty Sponsor is in the points lead right now with Mark Russell with 83 points. Third place, Brad Landy. Fourth place, Mike Chiellini. Fifth place, Wayne Fieldman. Sixth is Craig White. Seventh is Edward Velarde. Eighth, Stephen Tapley Sr. Ninth, Bob Roberts. And finish out the top 10 in those points, David Depew. So if you look at those points, they're still pretty close early in the game here. So definitely these guys racing today can definitely get involved in this points battle.
Got a little in-car, in-truck view there, looking at the driver. Getting ready to go back green, I think, the next time by. First is Jason Orlando, starting on the outside, Robert Felsen, Jeremy Crandall third, Marty Spotzler fourth, Mark Russell fifth, and Craig White in the 6th position. They must have waved off that green the last lap. Here they are. The pace car is in, and we're going back green at the Daytona 275, taking the green flag on lap number 9.
Tell you what, just taking a look back here, 7th place, looks like Bob Roberts. Nice looking truck there. driving that 47 machine. But right in front of him, old Craig White, I tell you, always comes up with some of those remarkable paint jobs. I'm seeing the Wrangler number 3, the old scheme there. Nice looking truck. That's always nice to see out there on the track, Wayne.
Yeah, Jeremy Crandall got around Robert Felsen, and he is pushing Jason Orlando around this racetrack, and they're getting some separation back to third place.
I tell you what, that 38 of Robert Filtzer there, looks like he's gonna get a little help there from the 23 of Marty Sponsler. But if they don't act now, that first and second place, Jason and Jeremy, they could take off with this thing early in the game.
Yeah, they are hooked up and going. The second and third place car are not nose to tail. They're close, but they're not doing any push. In fact, the 23 looks outside Robert Felsen and is looking for that third spot.
Absolutely. Taking a look back here in 10th spot, the number 64, Harold Lowry. He looks like he's trying to get some type of hookup there with the number 3 of Craig White, battling it out side by side with Bob Roberts in the 47. Those guys are going, but I tell you what, I've had a couple chances to talk to old Harold Lowry. Super great guy there, Wayne. Tell you what, the number 4 of Kevin Vaughn looking on the inside of Harold Lowry there. Looks like on the back stretch, the 8 of James Turnbull. I don't know if he's having a little bit of problems there or just kind of sitting back.
Yeah, I'm here. Still quite a battle going up in front.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, talking about battles, I'm sitting here looking at the 38 of Robert Filzine, and looks like he's got one on his back door there. They're trying, the 47 of Bob Roberts working that truck. It looks like he's about to try to stick it in the middle there between the 38 and the number 3 of Craig White, but kind of settled it down a little bit.
Yeah, Rick, our leaders are starting to catch some lap cars, and that's going to cause a problem because these lap down cars are running a lot slower, and our leaders are coming up on some lap traffic right now.
Well, hopefully those leaders will take that inside and let those guys get on the outside, or let them get around the easiest way that they possibly can. But tell you what, that 23 of Marty Sponsler and that other truck, I believe Mark Russell there, it looks like those guys are working pretty well with each other their way.
Yeah, we've got here at Daytona with this aero package, you've pretty much got to draft 2 by 2. And these guys are hooked up, 2 trucks. There's a few individual trucks around the racetrack. But Marty and Jeremy have switched, and Jeremy Crandall's in the front. With this aero package, you can go about 2.5 or 3 laps pushing continuously. And when that oil and water temperature gets up, if you don't switch, that engine's going to give up on you.
Yeah, tell you, we've seen a lot of those guys get around the track here, especially when they boil down to some of those last few laps, thinking, you know, it's not the time that I really want to change out now because I'm afraid I might not get back around him in time to take that checkered flag. Then you're going to start seeing some guys blow some engines up.
Yeah, when it gets down to 5 to go, they're probably not going to care if it blows or not. They're just going to push and go for that win. But Jeremy Crandall and Marty seem to be working pretty good, but the second, third, and fourth place guys have pulled right up to the back of them.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, taking a look back here in 5th and 6th place, Craig White, Harold Lowry is hooked up there. They're working together to try to see what they can do to catch the tail end of Mark Russell driving the 02, running 4th right now.
Yep, Jason and Jeremy have been caught now by Marty Sponsler and Mark Russell. And 5th is Craig White, Harold Lowry in 6th, and Robert Felsen, who was running 3rd, has dropped back to 7th place.
Tell you what, Wayne, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens here in just a few minutes, especially when these trucks start making those switches in the corners and so forth. It's real easy to team up with another partner real quick. So here's the time where we see who is actually going to be teaming up with each other. Just
as you said that, the 6 and 73 had to make a 5 and the 7-3 had to make a switch, and our new leader is the number 23 of Marty Sponsler being pushed by the 02 of Mark Russell.
That's right. And I tell you what, Craig White and Harold Lowry got right past Jason and Jeremy there, and now they're running that 3rd and 4th spot and closing in on 2nd place.
Yeah, some of these guys are running back several seconds, but here at Daytona, when you got 109 laps, you know, as long as you stay on the lead lap, you're still in the race, because you're going to have to make a pit stop. We may have another caution, so they're probably taking care of their equipment, just saving it for later in the race.
Taking a look back here in 10th spot, the number 38, Robert Felsen. And,
I reckon the leaders are wrecking the 02. Wow, the 2 leaders look like they might have been trying to switch, and there was a collision there. This caution brought to you by Wiley X, and as soon as our producers can get it up, the 02 car is pretty heavily damaged after that crash.
Oh, I tell you what, that's just a bad day there. Looks like the 5 of Jason Orlando got a little sideways as well, but I don't think he got any damage out of that. Looked like Craig White got a little bit of damage over on that front right corner there, Wayne.
Yeah, the 02 was pushing the leader, and all of a sudden the car just snapped loose, and then he got into another truck, and 2 or 3 trucks involved here.
Yeah, that is including the 73 of Jeremy Crandall as well. He looks like he got a lot of heavy damage there on the front, so we got to get our guy Brian ready on pit road over there. Brian, have you got anything, anybody pit?
What I can see right now, it seems like the 02's in the pits sustaining heavy damage to both the front end and the rear end of the truck. Nasty little spin he took on the track. He also collected Jeremy Crandall. I do not see him in the pits as of yet, but I have a feeling he's going to pit with quite a few people on this next go-round.
Good deal. Now, are they I assume they're really working hard on that truck there, trying to get it put back together to get back on the track.
Yeah, Rick, pit road's open, and all of our leaders are coming down pit road. Marty Sponsler is the leader. He's on the way to his pits now, Rick.
All right, I tell you what, Wayne, I believe Brian has got up with Mark Russell down there in pit road talking to him. Brian, what do you got?
I was able to catch up with Mark Russell after that nasty little accident they had in the turn there. Mark, can you explain to me what exactly happened there?
Man, you know, we were just kind of waiting right there and trying to ride, and just got hooked with Marty. Our bumpers must have hooked or something. I got loose, and I thought I had it saved, and it looked like Craig was coming by low on me and just clipped me.
So any word from your crew on whether or not you'll be able to get back out on the track tonight?
It's going to take about 15 minutes, but we're going to darn sure try.
All right, buddy, that was a nasty little shot you took to the wall. How you feeling? You doing okay?
Yeah, a little shook up, man. I was hoping to have a good news for my new sponsor here, Morning Sun Builders, but it looks like we tore up the truck instead.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate your time.
Well, thank you, Brian, for that report from pit road. Yeah, that truck's heavily damaged, and a lot of sheet metal to repair. Like we said earlier, the aero package is so important here. If you don't have the front of that truck right so it'll cut through the air cleanly, it's just like a parachute, and you just cannot maintain speed.
I tell you what, though, Wayne, we got to look at the good in everything that goes bad, and we can at least say, hey, you know, at least with him Mark Russell having a new sponsor here today, he got some airtime, and he actually got to do an interview. So that's a plus for the sponsor out there.
And let's go back to Brian on pit road. I think we got some other trucks having some work done.
That's right, Wayne. There for a short amount of time, quite extensive repairs on the number 3 as well. I didn't see a lot of visible damage, not nearly as much as you would see on the O2 car, but he's away. He's back out on the track, so they must have gotten everything straightened out, and he's back on the track ready to roll.
Well, right now we're on lap 19. We are under caution, and this caution is brought to you by Wiley X. Go to wileyx.com to get your eyewear. If you're a sport shooter, motorcyclist, race car driver, or just love good sunglasses to protect your eyes from those UV rays, wileyx.com is the eyewear for you. Tonight's P.A.D.D. 275, Parents, People Against Distracted Driving. So we're so glad to have you here with us tonight, and thank them for the sponsorship. And thanks Wiley X Sunglass for sponsoring our cautions tonight.
Absolutely. Want to give a big thanks out to those folks down there. But I tell you what, we can't forget about old Freddie and Mike Costa down there as our admins. It's helped Lauren there, our producer, with some of those cameras and so forth. So we want to give a shout out to those guys for their hard work as well.
One camera we're going to show you tonight is called our fan view. If you were at the racetrack, you can see exactly what the fans see from their seat from the infield. So look for that fan view on our broadcast tonight. And as you leave the Speedway tonight, be sure and stop by the Wiley X tent right outside the racetrack. They'll be there selling those sunglasses. And ask for Alan Moit, good friend of ours at Wiley X, and he'll show you and help you pick out the eyewear that's perfect for your needs.
Tell you what, Wayne, I definitely got to get me a pair of those tactical sunglasses they got over there. Those things, hey, you know, I think I would just look totally cool with a pair of them on.
Let's go back to Brian a minute. I think we got some more cars ducking on pit road there.
That's right, Wayne. We got a few more cars coming in on pit road. Not too many extensive damages. Looks to me more like they're taking some more of those Goodyear Eagles, or Goodyear Wranglers, pardon me. Some more of that Sunoco race fuel, and they're going to get back out and get ready to get back under green.
Imagine quite a few of them are coming in just to top off. There's still a few guys going in to get some of that damage fixed. You know, if you can't get it 100% like it was, but any sheet metal repairs you can make to help get it fixed. I noticed that the 18 came out, and I think he beat the pace car out. He's on the apron. I'm not sure he's going to have to drop to the back of the line or if he can merge with the cars on the track. Right now, our two cars on the front row are Marty Sponsler and Harold Lowry, Robert Felsen.
I tell you what, Wade, I'm just taking a look back here in 4th and 5th place. Jason Orlando in that 5 truck. It looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that tail end there. I know he got a little bit into that wreck that we had just a few moments ago, but definitely looking to see him try to get to the front today, and possibly the 38 of Robert Felsen. Maybe them two are going to work together. I'm not quite sure, but I'm also got that 83 there. Looks like he possibly may have a little bit of damage.
Yeah, the lights are out on the pace car, and the pace car ducks in, and we are going back green on lap 21 as they come through the tri-oval and cross the start-finish line. We're racing again here at Daytona.
Ooh-wee, and I'll tell you what, it does show, showing Harold Lowry out front up there, Wayne, with Jason Orlando just following right in behind him. Not quite sure what happened to Marty Sponsler there, but we'll have to catch up with that here in just a few.
Yeah, it looks like Blake Cannon, the 18 trucks, dropped down to the apron. He is a lap down, had to make some extensive repairs after that wreck. So he pulled over the apron to let the lead pack of cars go by.
Lloyd Jones going into turn 3 on the high side, right above the 63 of Rodney Harris. Looks like those guys are battling it out.
We got got a car. I think Bob Roberts is coming to the pits. That's what you see, Brian.
Yeah, Wayne, I just heard over the radio that he was coming back into the pits. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. He just yelled on the radio, guys, I'm coming in. I think what he's doing is he's either topping off, maybe making an adjustment. I'll try to get some answers and get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you, Brian. Up front, Harold Lowry is in the 64s up front. Jason Orlando is pushing him. Then we got about 0.4 of a second back to Marty Sponsler, who was running in third by himself. Robert Felsen's a couple of tenths back in fourth. And in fifth is Victor Volrath with Lloyd Jones sixth, Edward Velarde seventh, Rodney Harris eighth, ninth is they just swapped places. Ninth is now Edward Velarde, and 10th is Chris Perry.
Yeah, I tell you what, Tom McAllister, the number 27, I tell you, he's been working his way back from the back there. It looks like Craig White has finally got up there on the back bumper with him, and I tell you, I smell that these guys are going to try to really work hard with each other to get those trucks back up in the front as quick as they can, Wayne. They actually went through about 2 or 3 trucks back there in and out of cars. Looks like they're closing in on Lloyd Jones there. And McAllister taking an aggressive move on the outside, looking on the outside as they're going across the start and finish line.
Well, the Robert Felsen was running in fifth by himself, but he didn't have a drafting partner, and a couple of cars have gone around him. Now, hopefully, somebody can come up and get hooked up with the 38, and they can stay up there in that position.
Tell you what, McAllister and White working close with each other on the backstretch, got themselves right past Robert Filson, and now there looks like they're working on trying to catch Christopher Smith as they're in turn 3, coming out of turn 4. Got a good run coming out of there, only about 3 car lengths behind the 77, Christopher Smith.
Yeah, the leaders are pulling away just a little bit. First and second, first is Jason Orlando, Harold Lowry second. It's 7/10 back to Victor Volrath in third, Marty Sponsler in fourth, and Jeremy Crandall in fifth.
Tell you what, Craig White and McAllister still working with each other. They had to make the switch there coming out of turn 4, lost a little bit of ground, but it looks like the 44 of Cecil Reen and the 22 is working together there, and they actually gained position on top of White and McAllister.
The two-car tango works pretty good here at Daytona. Like we mentioned before, you've got to switch when that back car starts to overheat. And it's easy enough if you're out front and got a 3 or 4 tenths lead. But when you're running as close as our first 4 are right now, making that switch is pretty hard, Rick.
Oh, absolutely. And that 22 of Kalini, sorry about that. That's the 22 that's driving behind the 44 of Cecil Reen there. But it looks like Cecil is on the back door of Christopher Smith now. But it looks like the 3 of Craig White and McAllister is not giving up too much position. And I'm going to tell you guys, we got a good race going on back here in the between 7th and 10th place.
Brian, you think we got somebody else on pit road?
That's right, Wayne. We see Rodney Harris driving that number 63 machine is in the pits. His engine is off, and the crew is attempting to fix some extensive repairs. He just was passed by the pace car, so he's now a lap down. He was the last car on the lead lap. So as soon as we can get a word with him, we'll find out what's going on with that machine and see when we can expect him back out on the track.
Thanks, Brian. Back up front, the top 4, you could probably throw a tarp over them, a little bit bigger than a blanket, but Jason Orlando's in first now, Harold Lowry second, Marty Sponsler third, and then Victor Volrath is in fourth, and those 2 cars have paired up and pulled away from the rest of the field. Right now it's 4 seconds back to 5th place, Jeremy Crandall. So they are pulling away from the pack.
I tell you what, taking a look back here at the 20 machine of Paul Thomas, tell you, he is just getting his way through the field there with the help, I believe it's going to be the 42 of Chris Perry. Those guys seem to be working pretty well. Went 3 wide between the 20, the 42, and the 47. coming out of turn 3 just a few laps ago, that would be Chris Perry and Paul Thomas. Tell you, it puts you right on the edge of your seat there, Wayne, when they go 3 wide like that.
Our leaders up front just got the lap car, the 18. They had to duck below the yellow line to get around the 18 of Blake Cannon. And, wow, that was close.
Tell you what, the 20 car, Paul Thomas looking on the outside of the 77, Christopher Smith. 20, Paul Thomas is getting some help from that 42 of Chris Perry on the outside on the top end. As they're coming off to turn 2 there, it looks like they may get them trucks out in front of the 73 of Jeremy Crandall.
We just had an exciting moment up front. The 64 and the 5 switched because the 64 was overheating, and they went 3 wide in the turn to make that switch. And then right after that, the 23 and the 29 had to duck below the 18 to get by him. So I'm sure that the heart rates went up there with our leaders a few minutes ago.
Tell you what, the 20 of Paul Thomas and Chris Perry making real good ground here. They've got the 47 of who is that 47? I know that name, doggone it. Bob Roberts, and then behind him, he's got the 44 of Cecil Reen. Those guys trying to work together, but I believe Bob may be a lap down. Yes, I believe Bob Roberts is going to be the first car that's a lap down.
Yeah, right now we're just started lap 31. Right now we have 24 cars still on the lead lap, and the 4 leaders continue to pull away. They are 5 seconds ahead of 5th place.
All right, I believe we're going to take a ride in the seat with Jeremy Crandall of that number 73 machine out there. So also, I believe Brian, you got some news on that 73 of Jeremy Crandall?
Yeah, I spoke with the pit crew shortly after that accident that he had a few laps back, and it seems that the nose of the truck is severely damaged, but they were able to get enough tape on the front of that thing to hold it back together, and he's still keeping up with the leaders, so they're not too worried about the damage on the front end of that truck, no overheating, and he's still hauling it.
Tell you what, taking a look on the inside of that truck, those guys are running about 196 miles an hour around that track there. I'll tell you, that is hauling.
Back up front, Marty Sponsler is your leader as they pass a lap truck that went high for them. Victor Vollrath second, Harold Lowry third, and Jason Orlando's in 4th. And this lap traffic can be a problem if they don't see those leaders coming and get out of the way.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, just taking a look back here at Tom McAllister, Craig White, been trying to keep up with those guys back here in the back, running 10th and 11th. And I'll tell you, Wayne, that they got up there pretty good just a few minutes ago, running about 6th, 7th place. But I think we got some damage on the front right of that 3 of Craig White, and I believe the 27 of Tom McAllister has actually got some damage on his front right as well as the spoiler. So that may be the reason why these guys seem to have slowed down now.
Well, our leaders, Harold Lowry and 64, just switched so that Harold could give Jason a chance to cool that truck off. And we're coming up to look at our top 5 as they cross the line here. And this coming to start lap 35. Leaders are going down the backstretch into turn 3. Once again, the turns here are 31 degrees, and the front stretch is only 3 degrees. So the back stretch is 3, the trial was 18. So there is a transition there. Coming into the trial, starting lap 35, our leader is Jason Orlando. Second, Harold Lowry. Third, Marty Sponsler. Fourth, Victor Vollrath. Fifth, Chris Perry. Sixth, Paul Thomas. 7th is Cecil Reen. Jeremy Crandall is 8th. 9th, Christopher Smith. And Craig White is in 10th place. Running in 11th now is Tom McAllister. 12th, Brad Lambie. 13th is Kevin Van. Wayne Feldman in 14th. James Turnbull 15th. Stephen Tapley Sr. in 16th. 17th is Robert Felsen, who didn't have a drafting partner and lost quite a few positions there. 18th is Lloyd Jones. Stephanie Lestantine is in 19th, and 20th is Dominic Kursky. 21st is Jason Hogan, and Brian Holman is the last car on the lead lap, running 22nd. And this rundown is brought to you by Wiley X, eyewear for all your sporting and driving needs.
Oh, I tell you what, well, Wayne had a little bit of trouble there, but taking a look back at lap 35, coming out of turn 4, the 27 of Tom McAllister looks like he got into the number 47 of Bob Roberts as they were coming out of the corner there. Now, the 47 of Bob Roberts got completely sideways but was able to hang on to it, and the 27 of Tom McAllister just smacked the wall pretty hard there. So, but both cars are still out on the track, but it's definitely going to hurt Tom.
Yeah, once again, our leaders have lapped the 18 of Blake Cannon, and the top 4 have pulled away now. They have a 6-second lead over Jeremy Crandall in 5th and Cecil Reen in 6th. So if they stay hooked up, they're getting some serious space between them and the rest of the field.
Oh, it looks like we've got an accident. We've got an accident, and it looks like it's going to be the 42 just got in. I can't read the number. It may be the 17.
Looks like the 22, Mike Kennelly Collini was involved too. He's slowing down and coming to the pits.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be the 17 of Edward Velarde. Looked like he may have been a lap car there, and the 42 came around and just connected, just barely connected, and 22 there got into him as well.
Yeah, Brian, the 22's on pit road, I believe.
Well, the 22 came on pit road. I'm having a moment, but as soon as I get some information on what's going on with the 22, I'll let you know, guys.
Looks like we just got another incident, Wayne, up here toward the front. Looks like the 73 and the 20 just got into it.
Well, the apron's so big here at Daytona, these trucks actually wrecked, got off the racetrack before the yellow came out, and we're still under green on lap
39.
39.
I tell you what, the excitement just kind of really just throws you for a loop sometimes, trying to keep up with all these cars on the track.
Yeah, I switched over to another car on the camera, and he's 4 laps down. I'm going, what? We were on lap 35 a few minutes ago.
That's right. But I tell you what, these guys are getting it done today. I tell you, looks like you got the Jason Orlando up there toward the front. Harold Lowry looking real strong here today. Those guys have really worked good together, and you know, it's too early to tell who's going to end up going on with a victory today, Wayne.
And the 17 of Ed Velarde is on pit road, and the truck's still sitting there. Maybe Brian can find out what's going on with him.
Well, Wayne, I just spoke with his crew chief, and he's taking some serious damage to that truck. The engine's off, and they're sitting here trying to see what they can do to get him back on the track, but he's got serious rear end damage, left rear quarter panel damage, whole front end is smashed in all the way back to the radiator. They're not sure, but this may be the end of the race for him.
And Brian, Mark Russell's 02 car is on the apron. Looks like he may be coming back to pit road too. He is not up to speed. He's only running about 112 miles an hour on the apron as the leaders come roaring by.
Yes, sir. We see him on the backstretch. If he comes onto pit road, we'll see what we can get out of him. Hopefully, this is not the end of his night either.
Taking a look here at 5th and 6th place, Jeremy Crandall and Cecil Ring. Those guys are hooked up there on the back stretch, getting some good laps in. But I tell you, it looks like Jason Orlando up here really working the track. Those top four there really going at it. Like the 29 of Victor Vollrath on that outside on the top up there, Wayne. Looks like he's going to be leading this lap here, having a little help there from Marty Sponsler.
Well, gentlemen, I'm on the pit road here. The O2's coming back in for some more repairs. I tell you what, the back end of his truck looks like a really bad smiley face right now, so we'll get with his pit crew chief and see what they're going to do to get him back on the track. Looks like they're going to go ahead and slap on some new Goodyears, fill him up with some Sunoco just in case they can get him running again, but right now the rear end of that truck is not looking pretty.
Tell you what, go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, back here in Tom McAllister in the 27 truck is running 10th, and some lap down trucks just passed them. They were all hooked up running together, so there's racing going all over the racetrack as far as action, and you really have to keep your eyes open for slower vehicles, and the guys that come in and get fresher tires are a good bit faster than the guys that have been out there a while on those Goodyears.
That's right. I tell you what, those 64 Harold Lowry up here running like crazy. I'm telling you, Wayne, Harold is having a good race here today. Jason Orlando giving him a hand there. Those guys working really good as teammates. But I tell you, looking back here at this 3rd and 4th place, Marty Sponsor, Victor Vollrath, those guys are working very well together today here too. And I'll tell you, these top 4 trucks have just about took it away here today.
Yeah, like we found out last week at Atlanta, anything can happen. You lead 100 laps and something go wrong and you end up not winning the race. But tonight, you're right, they've got it covered. They've got a good race back here for 13th, 14th, and 15th with Craig White, Tom McAllister, and Chris Perry. They're lined up and they're continuously just swapping positions there. The 42 of Chris Perry right now is running in 15th place, but he might be losing that draft.
Tell you what, just keeping my eye on the front up here. These 4 are really working together with each other, just kind of changing back and forth, of course not letting their engines overheat with each other. But I think the main important thing is, Wayne, these guys definitely want to stick together, because if they fall out of that 2 and 2 and they're 2 by themselves, they're going to lose ground toward your other cars back there toward the back are going to be able to catch up a lot quicker.
Yeah, looking back at Brad Lamney in the 79 truck, he's running in 8th position. He's got a drafting partner. Wayne Feldman's behind him about 3 or 4 truck lengths back. And then there's a couple of other cars hooked up running back in the pack.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, looks like Jason Orlando is going to start leading some laps here with the help of Harold Lowry. And the 29 of Victor Vollrath is going to move up in that 3rd spot. But tell you what, Marty Sponsler, I tell you, hats off to Marty Sponsler. He's had some really good races here in the last few races there, Wayne.
Yeah, Marty's truck's been consistently fast, and he has won the last 2 races actually, so it'll be interesting to see where he finishes up tonight.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, Jason Orlando has had a bad luck in the last couple of races, and hopefully tonight maybe his stream of bad luck will run out, and maybe he can put that thing in victory lane.
Yeah, Stephen Tapley Sr. and Brad Lambie are hooked up and got a pretty good draft going there. They just moved to the outside. Wayne Feldman went wide with them, and they're going to be passing a couple of trucks on the inside. Let's see if they can overtake those guys.
Absolutely. I got to come back here and take a look at the action back here toward the 5th and 6th place. Looks like you got quite a few trucks there lined up working with each other there. Of the number 44, Cecil Reen, getting some help from the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Those guys working the bottom of the apron, You got Jeremy Cranfield and Stephen Tapley working the top side up there, and it seems to be working out pretty good for them right now.
And actually, our leaders are lapping 6th, 7th, and 8th right there. So they have really got the field covered right now.
Absolutely. They've got those trucks all lined up. They're running like sewing machines out there, working together with each other, just like a four-man group team there. But I tell you what, when we start boiling these laps down, we're going to probably see some of those trucks trying to get away from each other.
Shouldn't be too long until some of these guys are wanting to come in and get some fresh Sunoco fuel and some more Goodyear tires. Looks like the 73 and the leader trying to make a swap here, and got some lap down trucks with our leader, so keep an eye on that pack.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, all this is brought to you today from Wiley X Sunglasses. Make sure to stop by that booth on the way out, guys, and get you a pair of those things.
Looks like we got the 20 on pit road, Brian. What do you got down there?
Well, Wayne, it looks like the 20's on pit road, just taking tires and fuel this time. He's going to slap 4 Goodyears on that truck. Going to slap some fuel in it. Maybe going in for some repairs. I didn't see too much damage to that truck. Let me jump up here and talk to his crew chief and see what I can get to you.
All right, thanks. And once again, back up front, 6th, 7th, and 8th are tangled in there with our 4 leaders, Rick. This ought to get real interesting here.
That's right. Cecil Reen, Kevin Van, James Turnbull, Stephen Tapley. I tell you, those are names that are known through the iRacing community. These guys know how to get these trucks around the track pretty fast.
Yeah, like I said before, the draft here is so important, and if a truck's gone in the pits and got some fresh tires, if he's doesn't have any aero damage and he can get out with you and get hooked up with you, he can really help you make up some ground on the racetrack.
Absolutely. Taking a look back up here to the front, number 1 and number 2 spot, Victor Valrath had just led that lap, but it looks like Marty Sponsor just kind of ducked underneath him. Those guys made the switch. Marty Sponsor in the lead now. 3rd place, Harold Lowry with Jason Orlando right behind him. And I tell you what, the 29 of Victor has probably put about 4 or 5 truck lengths in between the two. So those guys, looks like Harold Lowry and Jason Orlando are getting ready to try to make a swap here as well.
And the 40-40 of Cecil Reen and the 8 of James Turnbull have gotten around the leaders in that pack, and they look like they may take the lead if they make it to the stripe. Nope, Marty Sponsler, the 23 and the 29 are still running 1 and 2. 3rd is Harold Lowry, and 4th is Jason Orlando.
It looks like Harold Lowry starting to make some of that ground up there, Wayne. 29 of Victor Valrath, him and Marty made that switch there, but Sponsler still in the lead as they cross over for lap 53.
Yeah, the 05 of Lloyd Jones just went 1 lap down. So right now, Rick, we have 19 cars on the lead lap as our leaders continue to put this field away.
Absolutely, and I tell you, you got to go back to the first 4 laps here when they had that wreck. I know a lot of those drivers got into that, and we're seeing a lot of that those laps being put down because of damage done to the vehicles.
Looks like the 20 truck had so much damage they took that thing to the garage. And we'll see if we can find out what happened to him for you. Up front, we still got the 64 Harold Lowry, Jason Orlando 2nd, Victor Valrath 3rd, Marty Sponsler's 4th, and Brad Lambie has just moved into 5th place with some help from Wayne Feldman.
Tell you what, though, Brad Lambie and Wayne Feldman had a good race last week, but they got into a little bit of trouble as well. So, but I tell you what, those guys, if they can work together, there is definitely enough time here today for their guys to catch up with them. But I believe, Wayne, I believe Brian is called up with Paul Thomas that had that damage there. Brian, can you copy on pit road?
Yes, sir. I'm here with Paul Thomas. Paul, I saw you pull onto pit road. It looked to me like it was just the start of a routine pit stop, but all of a sudden your crew chief started waving his arms like you guys were going to go behind the wall. What happened?
Yeah, I got some damage when I got the jammer out there. It was close race, and I kind of pushed it more than I should have.
All right. Was there any hope of seeing you back on the track tonight, or are you guys done for the evening?
Not at contact. I think I dropped a cylinder after it, man.
All right. Well, we hope to see you back out there, but if not, great race. Sorry that had to happen to you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I thank my sponsors, P.A.D.D, and MS. I guess I'm done.
Yeah, thank you for coming and getting with us. I had a little bit of audio trouble there. We had that wreck. He might have messed up his microphone in the collision. But we've got a great race going on here. It's the P.A.D.D 275 from Daytona Speedway. People Against Distracted Driving is our sponsor for tonight's race. Also, our cautions and lap rundowns are brought to you by Wiley X Sunglasses at wileyx.com for your eyewear.
That's right, and I tell you what, taking a look back up here toward the front, running first place, Jason Orlando. Harold Lowry still holding ground up there, looking good as they put pretty good little distance of a gap between them and Marty Sponsor and Victor Vollrath for Wayne.
Back here in the back, James Turnbull is running. James Turnbull is actually coming into the pits now. Let's go to our pit reporter, Brian.
Thanks, Wayne. Just heard him come across the radio. Number 8 was pitting, so James Turnbull's on pit road now. Looks like he's going to come down here, drop into his pit lane. I have a feeling he's going to be taking 4 fresh tires and a full can of Sunoco racing fuel. Just in front of him, the number 4 is pitting along with the number 44. Looks like we're starting a good round of green flag pit stops here, guys. You can expect to see him slap 4 new Goodyears on each one of those trucks, or at least 2 good new Goodyears on each one of those trucks, and get back out there on the track.
Yeah, this is very important that you hit your marks, that you get those tires on and the gas in as quickly as possible. If you overshoot your pits or have any mistake on pit road, it can cost you valuable positions on the racetrack. Rick?
I'll tell you what, just taking a look who came into the pit, and it looks like Victor Vollrath was running right there with the 23 machine of Marty Sponsor as they entered into the pit. But if we can get that camera rolling up there, the 29 got sideways in the pit. Brian, you definitely got to get down there and got to see what's going on with that 29 truck of Victor Vollrath.
Yeah, just made my way down here to the 29 pit. I'm seeing some significant damage to the front end, but right now the crew's not too worried about it. Apparently they think he's good enough to go, but he's taking 4 fresh Goodyears. He's going to slap in some more Sunoco racing fuel. Looks like he's going to get back out on the track here as quick as he can.
Absolutely, and hopefully that won't hurt him too bad. And I'm looking right now, Jason Orlando and Harold Lowry just both entered into the pit road. I'm sure they're probably going to get probably either 2, I'm going to say 4 tires, possibly. Those guys are probably going to need it, especially with some of the damage. It still looks like Jason Orlando's got heavy damage on the back of that truck there. And it looks like Harold Lowry just dropped down getting his 4 tires, and he's going to go back out and join Jason Orlando.
Yeah, Rick, I think the 5 and the 13th both took 4 Goodyear tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel, and they are headed back out to join the fray on the racetrack.
I tell you what, things just get a little way out there on that pit stop there. Especially things always can go wrong under those green flag pit stops there, Wayne.
Yeah, it can, and with green flag stops, it's going to take a few minutes to shuffle through the field and find out where our 4 running up front come back out. Right now, we got several of the guys on pit road. Brian, who we got now?
Well, it looks like we got the number 1 truck, the number 7 truck, and the number 92 truck. It looks like the number 62 truck. All 4 are in for green flag stocks. And looks like at least the number 1 is taking right sides. Looks like most of them are going to take at least right side tires. The number 1's taking 4 tires. They're going to slap them full of Sunoco race fuel and get back out on the track.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be just a few minutes, Wayne, before we actually see who's going to be up in the lead and what's going on. So many cars going into the pit, finally trying to top off the fuel there. Now, Brian, do you know whether or not this is going to get them the rest of the way?
Looking at some of the crew chiefs shaking their head up and down pit road, they're going to cut it close, but I have a feeling it looks like most of them are signaling that they're going to need at least one more stop to top off with a very small amount of fuel to get them all the way to the checkered flag.
And I tell you right now, the crew chiefs are probably hoping we have a caution around lap 90. Turn this into a shootout. Right now we've still got 18 cars on the lead lap. But when it gets to the end of this race, you certainly want 4 new tires and enough fuel to make it to the end.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wayne, looking back up here to the front, Jason Orlando and Harold Lowry definitely played their cards out perfect on that. They're back up, running in that number 1 and number 2 spot. And it looks like about 6.4 seconds behind is the third place of Brian Lambie. So those guys right now are sitting pretty.
Yeah, you got Brad Lambie and James Turnbull running in 3rd and 4th. 5th is Kevin Van. Stephen Tapley Sr. in 6th. Cecil Reen 7th. Jason Hogan 8th. And 9th is Brian Holman. And 10th place, Christopher Smith.
Yeah, it looks like 10th place. Well, I'm looking here at 11th place at number 7, driving Stephanie Lessington. 12th, number 1 of Dominic Krzyzewski. I'm not sure if I've got that right, Wayne, but I'm sure if I don't, our producer will let me know. 13th, Jeremy Cranfield, the 77 in the 14th spot of Christopher Smith.
Yellow flag out. We have a caution on the speedway. This caution brought to you by Wiley X for all your eyewear needs. And we've got a spin, and let's see if we can see who that is.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it looks like the 73 of, who is that 73? It looks like Jeremy Cranfield got into Craig White there. I believe that's going to be just right there as they go into turn 1 there, Wayne. I don't know if he just got too much into the gas or what, but bad luck there for Craig White.
And the Wrangler car was involved. He tried to pull under the Wrangler car, clipped his left rear quarter panel around. They went, and then the 77 got into him. So, whoa, and then the 05 comes in and hits the 77. So, hey, pit crew guys, get ready, sheet metal, get the bear bond out, and let's fix those trucks back up.
Oh, I tell you what, this is definitely going to change things up now, Wayne. Now we're going to get all these cars all put back up together. They're going to be close with each other, and it's really going to be interesting to see what takes place now.
It sure is. A lot of green flag stops there, but some of these guys are going to probably not come in and get tires, but they're definitely going to come top off those fuel tanks. First place is Jason Orlando. Second, Harold Lowry. James Turnbull is 3rd. Kevin Van 4th. Brad Lambie 5th. Stephen Tapley 6th. 7th is Cecil Reen. 8th, Jason Roberts. And rest of the rundown is there on the field. Let's see if we can see how many of these guys are going to take advantage and come to pit road and get some gas or tires.
Well, I tell you what, Wayne, I was just like you, Jason Orlando up there and that sitting on that number 1 spot with Harold Lowry behind him. Tell you, some of these guys now are right on the tail end of these guys. They are definitely going to be watching to see what Jason and Harold do. They know that these guys have been working together as teammates all day here today, and it shows. They're in the 1 and 2 spot. So definitely going to be interested to see James Turnbull and Kevin Van, Brad Lambie. Brad Lambie's going to be very strong coming up through the pack there. Haven't seen a whole lot from James or Kevin today, Wayne.
We got several cars on pit road. Let's go down and check with Brian and see what we got going on there.
That's right, Wayne. We got several cars coming in here under the caution. Got a few going to get some damage knocked out. The Number 77 came in and looked like somebody mounted his tires sideways on his truck the way he was driving in. Most of them are going to go ahead and take 4 tires and slap it full of race fuel, and hopefully hopefully they'll be able to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, this is getting pretty close to the pit window. Right now we're looking at about 45 laps, I think, to the end of the race. And we are, it's going to be close. And if you get the, important thing right here is to get a good drafting partner, because when we go back green, if you're the odd man out, you could get left behind in a hurry. Right now under caution, the wave around truck, the Wiley X Lucky Dog, goes to Wayne Feldman, who was 1 lap down, and he's been waved around the pace car, and that will put Wayne Feldman back on the lead lap. Still under caution here at the Daytona 275, brought to you by P.A.D.D, People Against Distracted Driving, and Wiley X Sunglasses.
Well, I tell you what, Wayne, I got James Turnbull. I'm trying to get him on the radio. James Turnbull, this is Law Dog up in the broadcast booth. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Fantastic. Taking a look at your number 8 machine out there, looking real good out there on the track. Now, these guys, Jason Orlando and Harold Lowry, has been working really hard with each other today. Have you got something for them?
Oh yeah, I got my teammate right here behind me, and I think if we can hook up and keep doing what we're doing the rest of the race, we should be in the circle at the end of this thing.
Fantastic. So you guys think you got enough to get there and get by them? And you and Kevin Van been working together today?
Yeah, 10-4. We went to the back and then pushed it all the way back up to the front and kind of went backwards and just playing it around, seeing where we're at, and feel pretty good about this, where we're sitting right now. Well,
good deal. Well, we wish you the best of luck out there. Anything? Have you got enough gas to last you the rest of the way? That's the $1 million question here.
Oh no, well, we're gonna have to make one more stop. We're just a little past halfway here, and we'll make one more stop and get some fresh good years on this thing and go to the front.
Good deal. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully see you in Victory Lane.
Thank you, sir. You guys have fun.
Great job. That was a great report. It's great to go in camera with these drivers and watch their hands as they turn the wheel. But James Turnbull looked pretty calm inside that car. The lights are still on the pace car, so we've got at least one more lap under caution. And we'd like to thank again our sponsors, P.A.D.D, People Against Distracted Driving. And remember, don't text while you drive and stay alive. Thanks to our spotters tonight, Freddie Ulrich and Mike Costa, for their great work keeping us posted on what's going on the racetrack. And tonight, welcome our new pit road reporter, Brian Likens, is with us tonight. So he joins Wayne and Law Dog here in the booth to bring you this race tonight from Daytona Speedway.
Well, I tell you what, Wayne, I don't know about you, but I'm liking Likens tonight. He's doing an awesome job, and I believe this is his first time doing this, so really doing a real good job up on the keyboard there and in that pit road. He's been a busy man tonight.
Well, the good news is, race fans, the lights are out on the pace car. We're 2 by 2 and going down the backstretch, and we are getting ready to go back green. Going to take the green flag on lap 67 here at the Daytona 275.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, take a look at that James Turnbull and Kevin Van. Look for those two. They're going to be teaming up, as he said just a few minutes ago there on the radio. They definitely have something for Harold and Jason up there, and he is aware that they have been working with each other. So it's going to be real interesting. But I tell you, don't forget, we've got the 23 of Marty Sponsler back there, and him and that 29 machine of Victor Vollrath. They've been working well with each other today, Wayne.
Well, I tell you what, if I was the 8, I wouldn't be disappointed at all if Brad Lambie got behind me and pushing me, because Brad's a fast truck out here tonight as well.
Absolutely.
Coming out of turn 4. Let's see if that pace car is going to make that left turn. The pace car turns in. We are going back to green on lap 67 at the Daytona 275.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, we had some serious checkup there. I believe that was going to be that 28 of Stephen Tapley there. Not sure what happened. Brian, did you get a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah, I saw that as they were passing by the start-finish line. The 28 just didn't get a very good start. It started from there and went all the way back to every car behind him. Seems to me like we almost got about a 3-second gap thanks to that wonderful checkup. Back to you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, looks like he's got some heavy damage on the back of that truck as well. Now, who do we have that ran into the back of him, and do they have damage on the front of their truck?
Yeah, here, you know, sometimes on that pace lap, you may be running 3rd or 4th gear to save a little extra fuel, and if you forget to put it back in 2nd on that restart, you can cause major problems behind you.
I tell you what, there, Wayne, now is not the time to forget to put your truck in gear.
I have done that before, and it's quite embarrassing.
Tell you what, Marty Sponsor somehow has just whittled his way around about 4 trucks and is sitting at about the 3rd spot right now on the backstretch. But you got the number 4, Kevin Van, and James Turnbull has hooked up. Now they're getting ready to look on the inside here as they're going to follow right in behind Marty Sponsor in turn 3. Tell you what, Wayne, taking a look on that outside, that 79 truck, looks like that outside for Brad Lambie there worked out real good on that high side. So I tell you what, both grooves are definitely working here today.
Yeah, Marty Sponsler's back in that 4th position. And, I mean, you're going through 198, 199 miles an hour down the backstretch. So the draft is working well here at Daytona tonight.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, we're almost 70 laps into this thing with, you know, anything, like we said before, can't count your chickens before they hatch, so anything still could happen.
In tonight's race, we've had 28 lead changes, 3 cautions for 12 laps. So that's our yellow flag rundown brought to you by Wiley X here at Daytona. And looks like Wayne Feldman's on the move in that 96, 95 truck again too, Rick.
Yeah, I tell you what, he is definitely on the move and working himself through there. Definitely a strong competitor here today. But I tell you, I want to go back to what you were talking about a while ago, 12 laps for 3 cautions. With 28 cars that started here today, here at Daytona, that's still awesome numbers. Really good driving we've seen out here today so far.
Let's go through our 70-lap Wiley X rundown. Harold Lowry is our leader at 70 laps, followed by Jason Orlando. Yeah, top 5 is 3rd is Marty Sponsler. Victor Vollrath is 4th, and Kevin Van is in 5th.
6th, the number 8 of James Turnbull. 7th, number 79, Brad Lambie. 8th, the number 44 is Cecil Rain. 9th, 28 of Stephen Tapley Sr. And to finish out our top 10, the 92 of Jason Hogan. And it looks like we've got some guys coming into the pit. It's going to be Jason Orlando and Harold Lowry.
Yeah, those 2 trucks just pulled onto pit road. Looks to me like they're just going to come down, go ahead and either top off with some fuel and get some tires, or both. I haven't really heard a peep out of either one of their crew chiefs, so I'm not sure if they're just trying to play it close to the vest or what they're doing, but they're definitely on pit road, getting ready to go back out under green.
Well, maybe they think they're in the pit window and they can get in there and get filled up with Sunoco fuel and get back out. Looks like they got fuel only, and possibly run to the end if we stay green.
I tell you what, I don't know if that was a smart move or they're going to regret that. I'm not quite sure.
Yes, sir, Law Dog. I just confirmed with both their crew chiefs with a couple of dirty looks, as by the way. Apparently I'm becoming annoying on pit road tonight, but both their crew chiefs just confirmed they just came in to top off with fuel. They're not quite sure if they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way, but they're hoping right now as they're crunching the numbers.
I hear you, Brian. I tell you what, you've been a busy man down there on pit road. These guys may be thinking you walking up and down there may be a little bit of stream of bad luck.
Under the first impression, I thought that they were under the impression I was looking for the hot dog stand, but no, I'm coming to talk to them.
Our crew chiefs are pretty nice. They work with their pit road reporter to give us all this great information, and we certainly appreciate it. But
absolutely. I tell you what, Wayne. You know, with Brian being our new guy here today, we definitely need to go ahead and get him to get us a hot dog run on up here to the broadcast booth. What do you think?
That'd be pretty good. We got the track overlay here. See turn 1, turn 2. Down there in the infield, right behind the garage area, is the best concession stand at Daytona. So, Brian, go over there and grab me one all the way if you would.
Go ahead and grab me one as well, Brian, and hurry up. I'll time you, see how long it takes you.
Well, if I'm not dead by the time I get there, I'll try to make it back with your hot dogs, but I may miss the next pit stop.
Oh, we wouldn't want that to happen, no, Wayne. I tell you what, we might as well go ahead and get him a thing of popcorn as well, because I'm going to tell you, it's getting good as we've got a new leader, Jason Hogan, leading the pack here with Brian Holman in the second spot, that's driving the 62 machine.
As the leaders are lap 75, the cars continue to drop one off the lead lap. Right now, Rick, we've only got 14 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, some of these guys are still going to have to go in the pit, and if we don't get any more cautions, it's definitely going to be a pit under green. So that's definitely going to change some things up.
Yeah, it will. And when you look at Jason Hogan and Brian Holman up there, the 92 and 62, then about 2/10 back to Marty Sponsler and Kevin Van, and then you got Victor Vollrath and James Turnbull running 5th and 6th. So I got about 7 or 8 cars there just within a few tenths of each other.
That's right, and I tell you what, it looks like Victor Vollrath has finally found Marty Sponsler there. Those guys have been working pretty good with each other, but the 79 of Brad Lambie is not going to let the 29 of Victor get away too quick as the 29 Victor gets up on the high side in front of Sponsler there. That way they can get together.
Now, we were talking about the draft and pushing and having to swap. Sometimes when you make that swap, if you don't do it in the right place, you can actually lose your partner to the guy behind you. So that's not what you want all the time. You like to stay with that guy that got you there.
Absolutely, and I tell you, if you give up on your teammate there, especially this late in the game, is definitely a bad thing to do, but I definitely don't think that's anything that we just saw.
Looks like our leaders are switching. About 2.5 or 3 laps is about all they can run, and when you're pushing very, very close. A lot of these guys will stay back a foot or two just to get some air in that radiator. Not run quite as fast, but you can stay in the lead pack by doing that.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, you're probably going to see Jason Hogan, Brian Holman, probably going to get a good run, especially going into turn 1 here. But it looks like Marty Sponsler and Victor Vollrath is still going to hold their ground there. Just goes to show you how fast these guys are getting around this track right now, topping out almost 199 mile an hour on the backstretch.
It's pretty amazing how these cars get hooked up. And Brad Lambie's back there in 5th, kind of by himself. He doesn't have a drafting partner, but our leaders are making a swap again. And Rick, that was only about 1.5 laps.
Yeah, it just kind of makes me wonder. I believe the 29 got into that 28 on that restart. We saw heavy damage on the back of that 28 car of Stephen Tapley, so he may have some front end damage there, and if he does, it's going to cause his truck to overheat a lot quicker.
Yeah, it will, and the car with any damage on the grill out front is going to slow them down as well and cause the guys behind them to be able to catch up a lot quicker.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, looking at the 92 of Jason Hogan, Brian Holman, those guys there seem to be just driving just pretty patient. Now 92's looking underneath the 29 as they're making the switch there. They're on the bottom apron coming out of turn 4, side by side, door to door. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I think they just lost the lead. One thing about this, the oil temperatures here, if you get the water hot, you can get out and get some air and get it cooled back off. But if you get that oil temperature gauge up in the red, it doesn't cool off as fast. It takes a lot longer to get that oil cooled off.
No, it sure don't. And I tell you what, the 44 Cecil Rain, now him, and it looks like the 79 of Brandon Lambie, they may have connected there and going to team up because they're going to, looks like they're starting to make some ground on Victor Vollrath and Marty Sponsler. As you can see, those guys are making changes in almost each end of the field where the laps are.
Yeah, the 29 and 23 definitely have some sign of overheating problem. They should be able to go more a lap without switching, and if they continue to do that, they're going to drop back, Rick.
Absolutely, and again, I'm just wondering, that must be the damage he must have got into on the 28 machine of Stephen Tapley Sr.
Yeah, it's pretty tight racing up there, and the 28s pull back up behind Brad Lambie as Stephen Tapley Sr., and they got a 3-car draft going down on the inside.
3-car draft, almost 3 wide going into turn 3 there. And it looks like Victor Vollrath is going to come out and maybe even lead this lap. But the 44 Cecil Reen looking on the inside, but not going to have enough to lead that lap.
Yeah, it's close racing back there. And you look up ahead, we're catching some lap traffic. Yep, Sponsler, the 23, they're switching again. So they're not even getting a lap, Rick, and that's going to be really tough in this traffic, especially as they catch these lap cars.
Well, I tell you what, it's definitely going to throw a loop. It's going to throw a wrench into things, especially if they try to make the switch here. These guys almost running 3 wide in the corners, but it looks like everything's going to be kind of smooth here.
Yeah, fortunately for our leaders, those 2-lap cars, the 17, I think the 33 went high and gave them the 2 bottom lanes, and our lead pack got through there safely that time.
I tell you what, you got the Cecil Reen, Brad Lambie. Looks like they're working together on the bottom there, but on the top side, it looks like the 92 of Jason Hogan. Oh, 3 wide is 05 their lap car. Just about caused an accident there, Wayne.
Yeah, Blake Cannon in the 18 several laps down. Blake did the gentleman thing and pulled down below the yellow line to let the leaders go by and not cause a problem.
I'll tell you what, looking at Brian Holman driving the 62, getting on up there side by side with Sponsler. But now the 92's kind of left out behind Victor Vollrath. And it's interesting to see that. I thought these guys were teamed up here, Marty. All right, looks like the 62 settled down on the bottom side there. Cecil Reen going to look on the inside as well because he's wanting to bring Brad Lambie with him, but can't make a move right now on the backstretch as they're going into turn 3.
As we come to lap 85 here at the Daytona 275, the race again is brought to you by P.A.D.D, the P.A.D. Truck Series. I'd like to thank Mike Costa and Freddie Aldridge, our admins. Commentators Wayne Finley and Rick Donathan in the booth, and Brian Likens is down on pit road, and Laura Lawson is our producer director. And we've got on lap 85 now, got about 28 laps to go. Got 3 wide here. These guys are wound up. This could get interesting.
Tell you what, we're going to definitely start seeing some racing unfold here. A lot of these guys are going to start taking some chances that they hadn't took before. And the 23 of Marty Sponsler still looking strong up there toward the front, but it looks like his teammate of Victor Vollrath has kind of fell back.
Yeah, we've got about 24 laps to go, and don't know if they can make it on fuel or not. They're running pretty hard, and I'm sure that the guys that are falling back are hoping for a caution, because you got Jason Orlando and Harold Lowry that were up front earlier. They're 41 seconds behind our leaders.
Well, it's definitely tight racing up there toward the front, and it looks like Brian Holman just led that lap there. But Holman, the 62, the 92 of Jason Hogan, working with his partner there, Sponsor on the bottom end, but the 44 Cecil Rain helping Sponsor out. Tell you what, I don't know whose teammates now, Wayne.
Yeah, we talked about swapping with overheating, and you don't always get back with the guy that got you the lead. You got Brian in first, Marty's in second, and right behind them is Cecil Reen and Jason Hogan, and then there's Brad Lambie. He's consistently right there in 5th or 6th all night long, so maybe Brad could pull off a win tonight.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, just taking a look there, Marty Sponsor's in the lead right now. Behind him, I believe, is going to be the 44 of Cecil Reen. Lambie in the 3rd position. 29 of Victor Valrath, still trying to do what he can to catch back up there with Marty Sponsor.
Yes. Brian Holman was leading on the last lap. This time he drops back to 5th place. So in one lap, you can go from 1st to 5th and nothing at all here.
Tell you what, just at the snap of a finger there, somehow, someway, Victor Valrath found himself teamed up again with Marty Sponsor. Marty Sponsor went high in that corner there as they were going in turn 1, connected with his teammate. But Cecil Rain and the 79 of Brad Lambie now working real good together.
Got some on car here looking back at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place there. You can tell the banking here at Daytona is so steep. That 31 degrees in the turns, it's hard to stand up there, and these trucks have a lot of centrifugal force and G-force on them as they go through those turns.
Absolutely. I tell you what, talking about G-force and going in the corners and getting through, the 28 of Stephen Tapley Sr. has made it all the way up there, finding himself, looks like he's running in 2nd place right now. Brian Lambie looks like he has took over the lead. Sponsor on the outside looking for his 29 teammate that he kind of got lost from there as they crossed the start and finish line earlier there, Wayne. Really hadn't figured out what's going on there.
Yeah, they're coming up on some lap traffic again, and the tires have got a few laps on them. The trucks are starting to move around a little bit. The fuel's burning off. They're getting a little bit lighter, so this is going to be an exciting finish. We've got 19 laps to go here at Daytona, at the Daytona 275.
Looks like Valrath there found himself getting back up in front of Marty Sponsor. Don't know if Marty Sponsor is trying to push Victor there. 28 of Stephen Tapley and Brad looks like they're working good with each other. But I tell you, the 23 is pushing Victor Valrath. I believe he's going to push him across, and he's going to lead this lap, Wayne.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. These guys are paired up 2 by 2, pushing, and Brad Lambie's down there. And I tell you what, Brad Lambie could be a player in this race. There's 3 of them down there on the bottom now, and they're opening a little gap back to the 88.
Tell you what, the top 9 that I've seen, Wayne, every one of these guys are in this race pretty hot and heavy. It's definitely going to boil down to the last lap to see what's going to happen. We've got guys out here that's working with each other that hasn't worked with each other the whole race. We've got guys working with each other better now than they were earlier in the race. So I believe we're in the cockpit right now with Brad Lambie, and he's getting that thing, wheeling that thing out around the track.
All right, let's go to Brian on pit road. I believe we've got a report from there.
Yeah, guys, I just caught number 18 as they're pulling their truck behind the wall. Not sure what happened.
Hold on, we got Yella come out. The big spin up here with the leaders. The 29 is involved. Big wreck at the front. Wiley X The Wiley X caution is out here at Daytona. And folks, this is going to shake this up because quite a few of our front-running trucks were involved.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm taking a look here at the replay. It looks like Cecil Reen in the 44 barely got just a tap on the 29 of Victor Vollrath. And that's all. It just sent him sailing straight up into the wall there, connected with the 92, the 62, the 29. A lot of those top guys out.
Marty Sponsler, last week's winner, was involved. He's got pretty heavy front damage to that truck. Yeah, we got 23 coming to pit road. Brian, take a look and see how much damage he's got.
Yeah, Wayne, I'm looking at the 23 coming on the pit road right now, and it is not a pretty sight. The whole front end of his truck is just completely off kilter to the right. Right front tire sticking out on its own. I'm afraid if he goes any farther, that tire is going to shred. It's going to tear the fender off. He's pulling into his pits right now. I have a feeling he's going to end up taking 4 tires, because if he doesn't, it'd be kind of a crazy move. But he's going to take 4 tires. He's going to fill it up with Sunoco racing fuel and try to get this damage work out and get back out on the lead lap.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to take that truck behind the wall. That damage at the front the aero is so destroyed on it, it's going to be really hard to be competitive out here this afternoon.
Tell you what, Wayne, that's some definitely bad luck there. Those guys, I tell you, they were running in the top 10 there, and I was just saying just a few minutes ago, every one of the guys in the top 10 had a shot at this race. From what I had seen, a lot of going back and forth, swapping back and forth from first to second, from first to fifth place.
Whoa, we got a spin at the front of pit lane.
All the leaders are coming to the pits. It looks like it's not Wayne Feldman. Who spun out there in the yellow truck?
I believe that's going to be the 05, Lloyd Jones, yep.
Lloyd Jones spun trying to check up to get to pit road or avoid trucks that were pitting. I believe he was a lap down, yeah. Oh, he pounded the outside wall. That's not going to be good at all.
I tell you what, it just, man, I tell you, Wayne, I guess getting close to the end of the race here. We got 94 laps in the book here. And we're not far from seeing the checker flag drop, and we have just seen so many things change within the last 4 laps.
Yeah, this wreck definitely changed the complexion of this whole race, and we're going to get Marty in the booth in just a minute and see if we can get our pit road reporter down to talk to him. Like I say, he won our last 2 races and was running up front tonight before this wreck on lap 93. All right, let's go down pit road to Brian and Marty.
Yeah, Wayne, I'm down here on pit road with Marty Sponsler. Marty, it looked like you're having a good run there. What happened?
Yeah, we did. We had a pretty good truck here. Actually, all my teammates had a good truck here. I got to thank them first and foremost, and MSOI for coming on board here. But, yeah, had a good truck. Just a racing deal, you know. I don't think you can really point finger at anything, nor would I. Just a good, hard racing deal.
Well, we're seeing some pretty extensive damage to the front end of your truck. Pit crew telling you you're going to be able to get back out and finish this thing.
No, sir, we're going to have to go fight them next week. Yeah, the motor let go on that. I think when we put it in the fence, we got touched in the rear, put us in the fence, and the motor let go. So, yeah, we're just looking forward to next week.
All right, well, it was fun watching you race. You had a heck of a run there, and I'm sorry that it had to happen. We'll see you next week.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good.
All right, back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, I tell you what, tough break there for Marty there, Wayne. He was running such a good race. And I tell you, I was really anxious to see how this thing was going to come down to the last few laps with Marty and some of those other guys up front.
You know, and we got several trucks that have some sheet metal damage that's going to affect the way they run. So Marty's out of the race, but these other guys up front, some of them got banged in the side, and some of them were some sheet metal damage. But the ones that pitted, they've got Sunoco fuel, Goodyear tires to go the rest of the way. So this is going to be quite a shootout here. Looks like we're going to have about 13 laps maybe when we go green at the Daytona 275, brought to you by P.A.D.D. And this yellow flag is sponsored by Wiley X Sunglasses. So go to wileyx.com or check out your nearest eyewear retailer and ask for Wiley X when you go in the door. The best eyewear you can buy, whether it's sport shooting, driving, water sports, Wiley X has the pair of glasses that will fit you. And once again, we'd like to ask you to stop by the Wiley X tent as you leave the racetrack today and ask for Alan Moit. He's our Wiley X rep at the racetrack. And if you are going to be at the next NASCAR race, be sure and stop by and visit the Wiley X tent.
Tell you what, just take a
Cars
look up here.
Front.
Yeah, I was going to
Everybody's getting ready. Right now, Jason Orlando is our leader. Harold Lowry second. Cecil Reen third. Brad Lamby's fourth after the pit stop. Stephen Tapley fifth. James Turnbull in sixth. Kevin Van 7. Stephanie Lessentine is 8th. Wayne Feldman 9th. And 10th is Dominic Kershke. And we're still single file, so we've got at least one more lap under the Wiley X caution. And once again, this P.A.D.D. Truck Series is brought to you by People Against Distracted Driving. And let's go down the pit road to Brian and talk to Mr. James Turnbull.
Well, I just got done talking to James Turnbull's crew chief here. James Turnbull, this is Brian Liggins down on pit road. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I remember from your interview earlier, you saying you had something for these guys, but I noticed you've been hanging out comfortably back in about 5th, 6th, 7th position. Are you guys just playing possum, or can you not catch up?
Oh, absolutely. Possum is my middle name. Yeah, we're just waiting till 10 to go and or a few to go here, and like old DW says, business is gonna pick up.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Stay safe out there.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Back to you guys in the booth.
Hey, thanks for that report. That was awesome.
Tell you what, looking up here at the top, that number one spot, that name again, Jason Orlando, gripping the steering wheel. He's got his partner there on the outside, Harold Lowry. Cecil Reen, he's definitely up there. And tell you what, Wayne, we're definitely going to see a race like crazy here in just a few laps.
Yeah, the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to take the green flag on lap 97, and we have 109 laps in today's race. So I'm going to be quiet a minute, let you listen to the sounds here at Daytona as the race cars come to the green on lap 97. Take a look from our start line cam here as the cars are coming down to the start here. Pace car is off. All right, we're back under green here. And Jason Orlando in the 5 truck is pulled out front. Let's see which one of the two guys behind him get to his bumper and start pushing. It looks like the 64 of Harold Lowry. And Brad Lamby didn't get on the bottom. He is up top, running in 4th position.
Tell you what, though, Harold Lowry there trying to work with Jason Orlando. They're looking real good. He's got his truck spaced out there just a little bit. He keeps that truck spaced out a little bit there. He may not have to make the switch, but Cecil Reen and Brian Lamby finally getting connected. It looks like Brad Lamby's going to just stay on that outside. Don't know what's going on there, Wayne.
Yeah, they're up on the high side, and that's fast, but you really got to stay pushing out there because you're a little bit further around the turn up on the high side. It'd be nice if one of those trucks behind them get up there. 3 trucks would be a little bit quicker.
As we heard just a few minutes ago, James Turnbull explained, I believe he let the cat out of the bag a little bit and said they're just waiting for the last 10 laps. So here in just a few minutes, we'll see what kind of juice he's got underneath the hood of that Chevrolet.
Yeah, Brad Landy's got a pusher there pushing him, and they just swap positions. Wayne Feldman, as they cross the stripe, moved up into 4th place, and Brad Landy's in 3rd.
Harold Lowry still helping his teammate Jason Orlando as they're coming out of turn 2 there. Still bumper to bumper, nose on the rear bumper, still helping each other out. But I tell you, looking in the rearview mirror, Brad Lambie, Wayne Fieldman are on their way, and Harold Lowry knows it.
And that 5 in the 64 are having to switch again. It's like the trucks up front are getting a little hotter than everybody else. They better get back lined up because Wayne Feldman may split them. And as he comes low with Brad Lambie, we may have a new leader at the stripe. No, it was close. Jason Orlando by 9/1,000ths of a second over Wayne Feldman. Wow.
I tell you what, that was real close as the 95 of Wayne Feldman came up real close on the back of Harold Lowry. But there's that 8 of James Turnbull starting to work on up there and get up as he's got help from his partner there, Kevin Van.
Yeah, the 8 and the 4 are hooked up on the bottom, and they are closing ground on the leaders. And the 5 and the 64 are up top, and they're not making any progress right now.
No, I tell you what, that number 8 and number 4 is working real well with each other. It looks like that 28 of Stephen Tapley Sr. is trying to grab on the back end there and see what he can get. But Harold Lowry is still not giving up ground easy.
We got 10 trucks in this lead lap. They are swerving back and forth. Wayne and Brad just switched. Now the 8's on the bottom with the 4 behind him, and they're hooked up. They could be coming to the front.
Lowry in the middle there. He said, come on, James, let's see what we can do. They get up on in the middle there, up on the high side, right up above the number 8 of James Turnbull.
You know, this is so tight racing and them having to switch. It doesn't take but one truck to have something go wrong and could take out 4 or 5 of our leaders here, just like we had earlier.
You're right, Wayne, but I tell you what, Brad Lambie and Wayne Fieldman are looking in the rearview mirror and loving to see what they're seeing in the rearview mirrors. Those guys are back there racing with each other, and they're starting to put a little bit of distance between them.
Yep, this double wide racing behind them is definitely what they want to see. And they have pulled away by about 2/10 over 3rd place. James Turnbull and Harold Lowry are hooked up on the bottom, and the 64 and the 5 are coming back on the top side.
Wanting to make that switch. Oh, Harold Lowry comes down on the top of the number 8 there, gets it in, but it looks like 5 just got into the wall. Harold Lowry going to look like he's going to take over the lead here with the help of James Turnbull.
Yeah, the 5 truck has got some damage there. Jason Orlando definitely just smacked that outside wall, had to do some damage, and he's dropping back in the field.
I'll tell you what, now the question is James Turnbull, is he going to wait up for his number 4 partner, Kevin Van, or is he going to just go ahead and take the ball and run with it and try to run with Harold Lowry here?
Well, Brad Lambie gets out from behind Wayne and almost hit the wall in the turn.
Here we got something, some information down there on pit road, Brian. What you got?
I just stepped down off the I just stepped off of Turnbull's pit box, and I asked his crew chief, "What's the deal? Are you guys going to back up to the number 4? You've been working together all day, and if looks could kill, you'd be looking for a new pit road reporter." I don't think he liked the question, but his answer was, "We'll see what happens with 5 laps left to go. All bets are off."
Tell you what, 3 wide as they come out of turn 2 there on the backstretch. James Turnbull, Harold Lowry working together there. Number 4 and Cecil Reen right in behind the number 4 of Kevin Van. Those guys are going to hook up. But you got the 79 and the 95, Brad Lambie and Wayne Fieldman on the high side. But I tell you, don't forget about that 28 of Stephen Tapley Sr. He's just sitting back watching what's going on here.
Hey guys, we got 5 laps to go. We just took the lap 105 and we're racing to 109. This is going to get exciting.
Wayne, it's been exciting now all day long, but I tell you what, I think what you're trying to say is that we're about to see some things that we ain't seen yet today.
back at the back of the pack, we've got the 7 and the number 1 car of Dominic and Stephanie's in the 7. They are trying to get up through the field, but it's going to be tough with them running too wide, and there's not enough room in the middle, I don't think, Rick.
But I tell you what, we're going to start seeing some of these cars start shifting around. Remember, those tachometers getting hot on the water and hot on the oil, so we'll probably start seeing some here in just a few minutes, starting to make some switches, but we're running out of laps.
Yep, Brad Lambie and Wayne Feldman are switching again, and at some point in the next couple of laps, somebody's just going to have to push till it blows up.
Oh, we got 3 wide on the backstretch there. The 1 going right up the middle, that 1 Dominic. And I believe it looks like Miss Stephanie Listington is going to kind of fall back there.
Harold Lowry's in the lead right now with James Turnbull running second. It looks like the 4 truck of Kevin Van is in third, and he's right outside him is Wayne Feldman.
Coming up on lap traffic there on the straightaway, almost... Oh, I tell you what, that was pretty close there. Harold Lowry still with the lead there. Following him behind him, James Turnbull. But up on the high side, out of turn 2, the 95 of Wayne Feldman and the 79 of Brad Lambie still working that outside groove.
Yeah, they are in tight quarters there, and just hope nobody makes a mistake. But this is going to be an exciting finish.
Tell you what, the number 8 there looking a little jittery on the bottom of the apron there. I tell you, you don't want to get too much further down there to throw that truck for a loop. But I tell you, it looks like he is just trying to do what he can to get around Harold Lowry.
Mike, Brad Lambie's got to watch it. He's getting into the back of the Wayne Feldman on the corner there, and he could turn him, so they got to be real careful. Looks like Brad and Wayne are switching again. Oh, they touch. Wayne Feldman's into the wall.
Into the wall on lap 108. Tell you what, looks like Harold Lowry on the backstretch. The 8 looking on the outside. The 4 coming up to help the 8, Kevin and James Turnbull.
And look who came up through the middle. Look at the 1 truck of Dominique. 2 laps to go. That's Stephanie in the 7 and Dominique in the 1. They're trying to get hooked up.
Cecil Rain on the bottom there, but I tell you what, that number 8 of James Turnbull up on the outside, that top apron has been working all day long with the help of Kevin Van. Looks like he's going to go ahead and grab the lead on the last lap in the turn 3.
The white flag. Oh, the 4 turn gets turned.
Oh, I tell you what, it looks like Harold Lowry's still going to hang on to that lead there with Cecil Reen right in behind him.
It's the 64 and the 44, and they put some separation back to the 3rd place truck. This is the last lap. When they come through the trial this time, they're going to take the checkered flag. Wayne Feldman is 3rd and 4th, and Brad Lambie is in 3rd place. And it's
like Harold Lowry is going to win it.
Wow, what an exciting finish, Rick.
I tell you what, hats off to Harold Lowry there. He just kept that thing straight and never let his foot off the gas. Cecil Rain, tell you, he just kept it down on that apron. Tell you, what an exciting race. What an exciting race.
Yeah, it was so close. The truck's moving around and guys trying to swap and cool off. It was close, but our winner of the Daytona 275, brought to you by Wiley X Sunglasses, is Harold Lowry.
The number 4 finisher.
Well, our winner is coming down to the front stretch here to do his burnouts. Once again, Harold Lowry in the 64 is the winner of the Daytona 275. And he's doing some burnouts on the front stretch to celebrate. Well deserved. Our producer's trying to get a couple of our top finishers on the radio here so we can do some interviews with them in victory lane. So thanks again for joining us at the Daytona 225, brought to you by P.A.D. P-A-D-D. Cecil, this is Wayne up in the booth. Tell us about the finish of that race today.
Well, I got pretty wild in the last few laps.
You and Harold seemed to be hooked up out front, and the big excitement was behind you. Did you look back in the mirror and take a deep breath?
I took a deep breath, but I wasn't watching in the mirror. I was just trying to stay glued to Harold's bumper there.
Yeah, we noticed a lot of the trucks were switching every lap and a half or so. Were you having any overheat problems in the draft?
No, I didn't have no problems at all tonight.
Well, congratulations on a second place finish. Great run. We certainly enjoyed it. The in-car stuff and the race was fantastic. And thank you and for participating in the P.A.D.D. 275 here at Daytona.
Thank you, and thanks for all the work you guys do up there in the booth for putting on a good show.
Well, thank you for putting on a great show. We certainly enjoyed it. It was exciting.
Thanks, no problem.
Tell you what, Wayne, I'm down here with Stephanie Lessentine. Tell you what, you were getting that number 7 GoDaddy truck moving around this track here today. Take us back for the last few of those laps there, Stephanie.
Well, it was definitely a challenge running our way up through the field there. I'm still trying to relax from that last 5-10 laps run we had. It was a great run. Thanks, Dominic, for that great push, and it's just too bad we couldn't make it all the way up there.
Well, I tell you what, back on a few laps before that mishap that took place, looks like you and Dominic were running really close with each other. Now, I assume you guys have been running with each other today as teammates. When I seen him go in the middle, back there on the back stretch, now I seen you kind of lay back. What was going on?
Well, I lost his draft a little bit, and I also saw something that I don't think he saw. It looked like they were about to wreck, but unfortunately the wreck did not, or fortunately the wreck did not happen. So I got a little hesitant, thought it was going to wreck, and I backed off, but he got the run, and I managed to pick up back on.
Well, I tell you what, it looks like you qualified 5th. You ended up finishing 5th here today. That's awesome. Did a great job driving. Anybody out there you want to thank?
I want to thank Laura for putting this on. She's done a lot of hard work this week, and this race is it was a blast, Laura, and really appreciate that.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, guys and girls, you got folks out there that can really move these things around, and it don't always have to be a guy. But I tell you what, I'm going to take it over to Brian that's caught up with Van that finished, I believe, 11th. Brian, you there?
Yeah, we're trying to catch up with Kevin Van here right now. Looks like we finally caught up with Kevin Van. Kevin, looks like you and James Turnbull were running real tight the whole race. You had a heck of a truck, but it seems like you got pulled a little bit out to the side. I don't know if you were trying to get air or not, and the 79 may have just run into the back of you. What happened from your angle?
Oh, what happened there is first off, me and James, we had kind of planned to run together, and he's a great teammate. We joined Bad Boys together, but I was just pushing on him really aggressively, and he drifted up high, and I went to go check up to give him room, and comes down to the last couple of laps, the guys behind you can't expect them to check up, and that's the result of it. But anyway, it was fun. It was a good race, and I was honored to race with these guys. It's just a good quality race, and I want to thank Laura for everything she's done for the P.A.D. series, and I'm just excited to be a part of a good quality, clean group of racers that P.A.D. has.
All right, well, it was a pleasure watching you. It was a good, clean race on your behalf. You had a heck of a run, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys, and hopefully the finish will warrant a little more worthy of a booth talk here.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, and Rick for your pit road and booth reporting there. I think we got Brad Lambie, our third place finisher, in the booth with us. Brad, are you there?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. I'll tell you what, you and Wayne were hooked up and doing a great job drafting. Were you getting hot? We were noticing about every lap or lap and a half, y'all were having to switch.
Yeah, setups are running her. They get a little bit warm a little quick. I just don't want to abuse them too bad. And if we had the opportunity in the room, we could do it. Got a little scary there. We were doing it 3 wide there towards the end, but got to try to stay up front.
Yeah, you certainly provided some excitement for the fans and the people watching here tonight, but I wanted to thank you for a great third place finish, and you want to say anything to your sponsors?
Oh, once again, I'd like to thank P.A.D.D. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing this. Classic Motorsports, my team, the guys helped me out, keeping me up front there, and it was a great race. I'd love to be a part of it.
Well, Brad, thank you for racing. I think next week we go to Texas. That's going to be another exciting racetrack, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Once again, it's GreatSimRacing.com presents the P.A.D.D. Truck Series. Stay alive, don't text and drive. P.A.D.D. Parents Against Distracted Driving. And also our yellow caution sponsor tonight, Wiley X Sunglasses. And the number 4 truck had a great camouflage paint scheme there. Kevin Van had that beautiful Wiley X logo on the hood. The 8 and the 73 were also carrying our Wiley X sponsors tonight. So thank you again. Mike Costa, our admin, Freddie Aldrich. I'm Wayne Finley. Rick Donathan was in the booth, and also Brian Likens. And our producer, Laura Lawson, for a great job. And Rick, I'll throw it over to you.
Absolutely awesome race we saw here today, and great job to Brian Likens. Done an outstanding job down there on pit road. Busy guy running up and down, but I tell you what, at least we got 2 hot dogs and 2 popcorns out of him today, Wayne. But listen, folks, just want to throw something else out there to you. NobleMotorsport.com. November the 8th starts off a Sprint Cup series. Going to run all 10 weeks there. Going to be all broadcasted right here. So get over there, get signed up, take a look at that, and love to have some of those guys over there. But I tell you what, been an awesome day here today, Wayne, and looking forward to next week.
It's been a great, great race. Next week we'll see you at 9 o'clock Eastern for the green flag from Texas Motor Speedway. And for P.A.D.D., Rick, Brian, Laura, we will see you next week, and thanks for joining.